It's not a mere allegation if one regards the Chinese property market as a big Ponzi scheme, and that's because it's very easy to spot numerous partially completed residential skyscrapers as you pass through state after state in China. While some of these buildings are complete and have been converted into residences for families, the majority of them seem to be half done and more like empty shells where building work was abandoned long ago. Even though these half-structured buildings are yet to be completed, some helpless residents who have committed their life savings to them have no option but to live in this house like that. In China today, 20% of the country's total urban housing stock, or about 65 million homes, is vacant. With this amount of vacant property, we can say that France or a country with an entire small population could live there. This number includes significant portions of the so-called ghost cities, such as Tianducheng, Thames Town, Binhai, and many others, which cover hundreds of square kilometers. Welcome to Savvy Economists. In today's video, we will discuss the Chinese property market is looking like a big Ponzi scheme. But before we continue, we want to encourage you to not only to please watch, but also to like and share this video if you enjoy it. Also, do not hesitate to leave your comments and thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more related content similar to this. When we speak of the Ponzi scheme, we can't afford to ignore Charles Ponzi's infamous scheme, which took place in Boston in the 1920s. It was based on the idea of making an arbitrage concerning international postage costs. However, there was really nothing behind it, and it had no substance, so when you think about China's property market, many don't really associate it with being a big Ponzi scheme, especially when it's coming from a reputable organization. However, when you compare it to how other countries' real estate market is set up and functioning, there is a huge difference between them. The major contributor to this is a lack of funds, and developers cannot pay their employees or purchase supplies. Work on projects has halted, and the hope of more and more families' dreams of owning a home is scattered. Studying the major contributor to this, it's eyesore to know that one of the Chinese property companies, China Evergrande Group, which is known to be the second largest property developer in China by its sales so far as it has been around for a very long time, is a major root to this problem. Just about a year ago, China Evergrande Group estate developer announced that its cash flow was under severe pressure and it might not be able to pay back any of its staggering $300 billion, £275 billion loans. After this declaration, house prices in China began to decrease every year. After falling by 0.9% per month earlier, the median price of a new home in China's 70 largest cities fell by 1.3% annually in August 2022. It was the fastest reduction in new home prices since August 2015 and the fourth month in a row that prices had fallen. One cause of price reductions is that the property market has been experiencing a sustained downturn due to a growing developer debt issue, a stringent COVID lockout, and several curbs. But the debt issue from China Evergrande Group seems to be the most paramount cause of property crises and what most people would regard as a scam. Over the years, China Evergrande Group has made a name for itself in not only the property industry but also in other sectors. Being one of China's top real estate firms, this company most recently held the 122nd spot among the world's top Fortune 500 firms. The Evergrande Group's assets include more than just real estate development. It also engages in wealth management, food production, electric cars, theme parks, and beverage manufacturing. It even owns one of the biggest football clubs in the nation, which is Guangzhou FC. Over the past 2 decades, Evergrande has significantly expanded its real estate empire by taking advantage of low-cost credit. The company did report $108 billion in annual sales and approximately $356 billion in assets. In over 280 Chinese cities, Evergrande Company holds about 1,300 real estate projects. Because of how popular it has become, this company seems to get away by running what seems to be similar to a Ponzi scheme, where they use investors' funds to utilize and pay off old clients in a downward spiral that eventually leads to collapse. Yet a lot of visible sanction has not been made so far. According to NewYorkTimes.com, the $300 billion debt owed by the Chinese real estate tycoon does not only stops at not meeting up to the 1.6 million flats it was supposed to provide, but also owing money to tens of thousands of its workers. Since the company was too broke to sort for itself, it then resorted to collecting money from its staffs with a coercive offer. According to them, those who wanted to keep their job bonuses would have to provide a quick loan to Evergrande. Since some employees don't have money to lend but still want to keep their job and bounce, many have to call in favors from friends and relatives, while others resort to borrowing from the bank to provide the loans for Evergrande. The loans, which had been marketed as high-interest investments, were then unexpectedly stopped being repaid by Evergrande this month, thus leaving their workers in debt to the loan they didn't use. Ever since last week, hundreds of workers have gathered in front of Evergrande's offices around China to protest, joining anxious home purchasers in demanding their money back. With all these negative activities going on around it, Evergrande, formerly China's most active real estate developer, is now regarded as the nation's most indebted corporation. It has debts to creditors, workers, and international investors. It owes homebuyers for unfinished apartments and has more than $1 billion in unpaid invoices. This adds up to why many regard it as a Ponzi scheme organization that had the intention to set up, win the hearts of many Chinese and then turn back to steal from them. But are they making any attempt to resolve this? In an effort to calm fears that have led some homeowners to refuse to pay their mortgages for incomplete flats, China Evergrande Group promised to restart its remaining halted projects by the end of the month. By September 30th, the company claims it will resume building on 38 developments, according to a statement released late on Monday and citing the weekly staff meeting of Chairman Hui Ka-yen. According to it, construction has already started again on 668 of the 706 projects. Since their actions are glare to the public and lots, Evergrande promised they are developing a strategy to restructure its offshore debt, which it hopes to reveal this year. It's also interesting to know that they once promised to do this early this year, but it did not deliver a preliminary plan in July, and we hold it won't delay further. According to a company's registry record, a receiver has assumed control of the company's Hong Kong headquarters building in the interim. Separate register records revealed that in 2020, CITIC Bank International and other parties borrowed 7.6 billion Hong Kong dollars, $968 million, using China Evergrande Center as collateral. While we await this company to resolve all issues surrounding it, Evergrande has seen its shares drop more than 80% of its value this year and is being sued by creditors. And what about the Chinese government? Are they doing anything about this? Even though the Chinese government administration is attempting to spread the debt load across state-owned companies, banks, and local governments and is pressing for the restructuring of failing developers like Evergrande, ordinary Chinese people will likely feel the pain. Since the gross domestic product of China is accounted for by the real estate market to a degree ranging from 20% to 30%, the Chinese government seems to be putting in an effort to resolve the issue, and not reluctantly. The Chinese government is taking action to ensure real estate developers finish their apartments. According to the Communist Party-run Day News, all developments stopped in Zhengzhou City, Hunan Province, must resume by October 6th. Also, the local government is advising builders to raise money by selling undeveloped land and other assets. Projects from developers with cash flow issues will be taken over by financing platforms established by the local government. The central government has also been addressing the problem by taking certain actions. According to them, the government promised that they would provide 200 billion yuan, $29 billion, in special loans to ensure that buyers receive their homes from stalled housing projects. Additionally, some developers are finding it simpler to raise money on the regional bond market thanks to policymakers' efforts. Numerous private real estate firms have issued or intend to issue new domestic bonds with full guarantees from the state-owned China Bond Insurance Company. As a new channel, we need all the help we can get. To support us, please watch, like, and share our videos. You can also subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.